And eventually,
You said broad.
I did say broad, and I'm going to give it a few extra seconds. And now, what? This is not the song I was thinking of. No, I'm not doing this song. This song is dumb.
No, do it. It'll be funny.
Nope, that song is dumb. I'm going to pick a different song. I'm going to do this song. It's a kind of magic. It's a kind of magic. A kind of magic. One dream, one soul, one prize, one goal. One golden glance of what should be. It's a kind of magic. One flash of light that shows the way. No mortal man can win this day. A kind of magic by Queen. It makes sense, right?
Yeah. Pretty sure that's a song about anal.
It seems like it, right? Waiting seems eternity. The day will draw sanity. This kind of magic, it's a kind of magic. There can be only one. This rage that lasts 1,000 years will soon be gone. I mean, definitely anal.
Right.
100%.
If that's not a song about anal, then I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Well, I didn't think you want to live on this planet anymore anyway.
Yeah, I know, but, that's just a thing to say.
They do. They make bullets for that. Welcome to this week's Two Troll and a Brew. Seriously, though, in all seriousness, don't commit suicide unless you really, really want to.
Bullets don't taste good.
I mean, have you ever been shot?
No, but I put a bullet in my mouth once.
Okay.
It wasn't out of a gun or anything. I just wanted to see what it tasted like because I was really drunk and someone was like, I'm going to go taste a bullet. I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound too appealing to me. Sure enough, it just tasted like a poisoned penny.
Well, that's about right. I actually have been shot a couple of times. That's
because people hate you.
Well, mostly hunting accidents, but yes.
Yeah, accidents.
One person did hate me. She shot me in the foot. She's a B word. Hey, so this is not.
Was that your mom?
That was my stepmother. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. Anyway, this is Travis's closet or corner, the corner of his ceiling. Everybody, on this week's Two Troll and a Brew.
Welcome to the hole.
Welcome to his corner. Anyway, this is Two Trolls and a Brew, episode 83. My dyslexia was trying to kick in there. Trial of Trials. Spoiler alert, we're going to talk about some trials. Subtitle, Why Mana? Why? Hi, Travis. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh my God, his face.
I know it's hideous.
I'm not that bad. It's I'm having a rough migraine day today, to be honest. But that's why I'm sitting in this dark room, masturbating furiously to pictures of livestock.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not realize that you moved to a certain foreign country that we're at war with.
Well, I mean, to be fair, bad jokes. Yeah, other than that, not too bad. I recently started live streaming to both Twitch and YouTube.com. So youtube.com/SamusGrobo, where you can watch this show live when we record it. And the growth has been good. I've got a lot of good positive feedback, and hopefully we'll continue growing the stream there as well over on twitch.com/SamusGrobo. So overall, it's been a good week. Been a good week.
One of my buddies here, he was talking about the show, and he's like, Travis, I've known you for a while, and how many hours worth of recording do you guys do to get your 1 hour podcast in? I'm like, generally about one. He goes, really? I'm like, yeah, mainly because he knows that I will get even more distracted than I already am.
That's true.
And probably really just hate me after that. I cleaned that language up.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I would do a longer stream. Like, I think you would be a lot of fun to do a proper guest stream done kind of thing. But yeah, it's a challenge to try to do a podcast sometimes because we both are a little long-winded from time to time. Okay, mostly I'm long-winded and you
There
don't
you
care
go.
anymore because you're like, woo, shiny. So keeping us both on track is often a challenge. Often.
Fact.
So let's actually jump to this week's troll cards. In the goal of staying on track. I have Onward to Victory, and you have Manglehorn. Who wants to go
Correct.
first? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure, I'll go first.
Okay.
So
First of
the
all, what is
reason,
Manglehorn?
right? Manglehorn. It costs some mana, and it's a 2/2.
it's a green and 2 for a 2/2
Yeah,
green
see, there you
creature.
go. See, that costs some mana. And when it enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact.
Correct.
Then your opponent's artifacts enter the battlefield tapped.
Sweet. Why is
So
that
the reason,
good?
huh?
Why is that any good?
It's not.
Seems good. Seems okay.
No, it's incredibly good against my deck specifically. So I was playing on F&M, and I'm playing with my Colossus deck. And the only person that beat me, he beat me with Manglehorn. Because, number one, it stops my ramp with the Hedron Archives and the Cultivator's Caravan, basically any of my artifacts. And then two, does enter, I can't combo off with them. So, like, I can't play a Cultivator's Caravan or a Hedron Archive and then immediately tap it for mana to play something else.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's why I chose that card, because it is an incredibly fringe-worthy play that won the dude the game.
So Manglehorn has become a like 1 of to 4 of in pretty much every green based deck.
Yep.
After
he had 3.
After Kaladesh and the popularity of certain decks, I imagine they're just going to continue to go up. So like Manglehorn is one of your best defenses against a Marvel, for example. Right. If you can get it down, and they can't remove it that next turn, their Marvel comes into play tapped. So a turn 3 Manglehorn is one of your best defenses against a turn 4 Ulamog in this format, for example. So yeah, everybody's got to be, if you're running artifacts, you have to be able to kill the 2/2.
Right.
Which thankfully there's, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of ways to get rid of Manglehorn right now for anywhere between 0 mana and
infinite mana.
Well, I was going to say 4 mana, because that 4 mana is kind of where like the end of what you're doing is.
Right.
But like, because for 4 mana, right? Is it 4 mana? It's XX for a Walking Ballista.
Right.
That seems right. So for 4 mana, you could always Walking Ballista and take care of business. But I don't know. He's a butt whooping in a can.
Yeah, no, like I said, his deck was incredibly mediocre. But he stopped me because Manglehorn.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had some other advice right now, but just Kaladesh artifact sets have a tendency to be incredibly powerful, and artifact theme sets also, they carry that along. So at this last Pro Tour, for example, they had an interview, or Ian Duke was doing coverage or something, and he made some comments about how in R&D, they were worried that they had made too many and too strong artifacts. So they wanted to go way out of their way to print plenty of answers. And something like Manglehorn was one of their, every color basically has a solution now that happens to be one of the green ones. To which I say, F you wizards for not letting us try Saheeli Cat with these answers that you printed.
Right.
But 2 whole days of testing on Magic Online, I can understand why they had to emergency ban. I'm still not that salty.
No, I can tell. Not a
They
single dosage of salt.
Exactly. Completely saltless here. My card this week is Onward to Victory. This card I have really taken a shining to. So for a red into generic, you get an instant in your hand. Target creature gets +X+O, where X is equal to its power until end of turn. As a sorcery, so out of your graveyard, as the aftermath half of the card. White into generic, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. So this thing did a ton of work for me on the draft last week, and we're going to get really into heavy details on my draft later on, because I feel like everything came together. Everything came up Samus. But there was an instance, sorry, too much
You
talking.
should be.
Too much talking all at once, and now my body's like, oh, we got to remember to breathe. So there was an incident where I made a creature have trample, and it got 6 power, right? So I made a 6x trampling creature. Then I played Onward, doubling its power to 12. And then I played Victory, giving it double strike, and attacked for 24 points of trample damage. My opponent blocked for that damage and took 20 points of damage to the face and lived at 3.
Nice.
But the point is that this card enables very sweet blowouts like that. To the point where this weekend I had to go out of town. Well, I didn't have to go out of town. I chose to go out of town and hang out with some of my friends. And on the way back home, I called Travis, and I'm like, Travis, I really want to play Armandal and Onward to Victory. And we spent probably, I don't know, half an hour talking on the phone trying to figure out if we can make the deck work.
Yeah, I think it was like 27 minutes.
Something like that. And
that's the longest I've been on the phone in forever.
It turns out that, no, I could not figure out a way to make that work. Long story short. Maybe in Modern. Right? Maybe in Modern I can figure out a convenient way to make that work. But right now I am a little shy of figuring out how to Onward to Victory with Armandal. But we'll get into some of the other things that the Onward to Victory kind of like does sick work with. I guess we can move into it now. The next talking point is the draft this week. Did you get a draft this week?
Yes.
What did you draft?
Esper Flyers.
That sounds cool.
So it started off simply with and I knew the card wasn't gonna do much in limited, but other one simply because it's good in other formats. But my pack one pick one was Aven Mind Sensor.
Okay.
And I was just like, you know what? I really want to force blue. I haven't played a blue draft in Amonkhet yet. Unfortunately, the person to my left also wanted to play blue, so I ended up only splashing blue.
Kind of got to play some blue?
Yeah. So, yeah, my pack one pick one was Aven Mind Sensor, and that jumped into start to finish after that.
Okay, I like that card a lot.
Yeah. And then I proceeded to get what was that? What was the other guy? The Aven Wind Guide was pick 3. So I was like,
seems good.
Yeah, no, he was great. But then the rest of it was really just I have
like stupid flyers that have the come back from the graveyard ability.
Not even that. Like, I only have 3 things that have Embalm.
Really?
Yeah, but I got the Blighted Bat. I have 2 Blighted Bats.
Okay.
I have 2 Aven Initiates, There's the 3/2 blue guy that flies, and then you can bomb him for 7.
Right.
So I have 2 of those. Wasteland Scorpion, the Plague Belcher, 2 Taw Crop Elites.
I like that
The
card
one
a
that,
lot.
yeah. Oh,
A lot of
he was
people
such a
are
beating.
up and down on him, but I really like that card a lot.
Then I got 2 Anointer Priest and a Vizier of Deferment.
Okay.
That's the Flicker one.
The flick one, right? I like that card a lot too.
Yeah. But then the rest of it was just removal. Like I got 4 Splendid Agonies.
That almost seems like
picked
one
3.
too many.
I picked 3, and then the 4th one was passed to me at the last, as the last card in the pack.
Okay.
And then when I asked someone about it, he's like, "Yeah, I just miscounted, and I thought it was going to come back."
Oh.
And I got the Grave Digger so I can recur any flyers that I wanted. So I had the potential to have up to 13 flyers.
Seems really strong.
It was great. But then the person who picked the all the blue spells, he happened to be the only person that could beat me.
Right. Well,
he got our personal favorite card. I think you know which blue and red guy I'm talking about.
It's the Healy?
An Amonkhet.
I don't know. That's my personal favorite red and blue guy.
He's a flyer.
He's a flyer. Oh, the Sahili?
Yes. That spells matter creature.
Right. The chasing no.
Yeah.
Crashing
Yep.
Chimera.
I forget what its name was.
Crashing
Chimera.
From Theros, whatever that's called. Yeah,
yes,
no,
sure.
I have yet to get to cast that guy, to be fair.
He got 2 of them.
Yeah, it seems real good.
And he happened to just hate me.
Well, I will real quickly before we get off on this whatever this X2 flyer is, I think X3 flyer. One of the
X4.
X4. One of the kids who's recently started playing Magic at the shop and really steadily improving. Like if people have levels to Magic, and like a Pro Tour player would be like a 20, for example, to like relate this to Magic or to D&D. And assuming that we're kind of like maybe slightly above the middle range, like a 12 maybe. When you first start out your level 1, this kid has really impressed me in his growth over the time he's learned to play. His name is also Travis. And I'd probably say he's like level 7 or 8 right now, kind of like figuring out some of these things that a lot of new players really struggle with, like only the last hit point or life point matters and stuff like that. But he's been struggling with drafts. Like he really enjoys them, but he's been having a hard time with them. And this, I think, was one of his best drafts where he drafted 2 or 3 of those particular flyers and just kind of like rode those plus removal spell to victory.
Right.
I want to say he was like 3-1 out of a 4-person draft. Last week, and it was a pretty good deck. I mean, all in all, I thought it was pretty impressive. So yeah, I would like to draft that deck at some point and see what I can make happen. Especially if you take like my favorite card from last week, the Scribe of whatever it was, I forget now. But the regrow, sorcery, and instant guy, like a couple of those flyers, and then like mono awesome spells. It seems really good to me. But overall, what was your record?
2-1.
2-1. That's not terrible.
Or no, was it 3-1? I can't remember. I just lost 1 round.
That's fine. X and 1's pretty good for a second place finish?
Third.
Third place finish.
Yeah, because tiebreakers.
Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned I had like that amazing, really slow deck, and I went 3-1 and ended up taking fourth.
Hmm.
I was kind of irritated. So I decided this week I wasn't going to do that. I decided this week I was going to have the 4-0 deck, and spoiler alert, I did. So pick one, pack one was an Honored Hydra. A card that I got in my mini league packs and have really kind of liked in limited. I don't know how much I like him in a constructed format. He seems expensive. If you can get him discarded and play him for 4, it's probably really strong. So like a green deck based around the snake that you discard cards out of your hand.
Okay.
Like a green red deck maybe with the snake and Honored Hydras and playing them for 6 mana on turn 4 or whatever. Like maybe that's something. But in limited, this guy's just like, all right, well, turn 6. I'm going to slap down this 6/6. You killed it. Awesome. I get a removal spell out of your hand. I'm just going to play it again for 4.
Right.
I've been really impressed with this card. So friend of the show, Joe, Basement Dweller Joe, was feeding me packs 1 and 3.
Wait.
And
Who's Basement Dweller Joe?
your friend, Basement Dweller Joe,
Oh, the hype man.
the hype man, yes.
Yeah, he's my
Um,
hype man.
He's your hype man. So he, I'm not sure exactly what he was taking pack 1, but I think he was just trying to grab whatever he considered the best card. But passed me a Magma Spray, which was clearly the best card. So I took it. And then he passed me a Trial of Strength. So Trial of Strength is the green trial. When it enters the battlefield, you make a 4/2. And then, of course, it's got the ability to return to your hand whenever you play a cartouche. And I'm like, well, I'm definitely the green guy now because I'll have this trial and this snake, and it'll be awesome. I'll pick up 1 or 2 cartouches, and everything will be awesome, right? That's kind of what I was thinking. Well, in the course of the event, I picked up a second Trial of Strength, a Trial of Zeal, and a Trial of Authority. So a red one, a white one, and 2 green ones all together. And I ended up getting 3 green cartouches and a white cartouche. So I had 4 cartouches, and then additional power cards was a Crocodile of the Crossing, the Emberhorn Minotaur, which is the guy who gets, you exert him, he gets Menace.
Okay.
So he's the 4/3 that becomes a 5/4 with Menace. I picked up a Fling, which was really awesome.
Yep.
I picked up, all of my dudes have Trample Man, Kinthra Charioteer for 3.
Yeah, the 3/3.
Yeah, which was pretty good. Let's see. I picked up the Onward to Victory. I picked up 2 Spring to Mines, which I thought was actually a very, very good card. I even was able to use the Mind ability in my green-red flashing for the trial and the back half of, or to Onward, or sorry, Victory, the white half of Onward to Victory. I was even able to use Mind to draw 2 cards at instant speed, which we'll kind of talk about in a little while. Benefaction of Ronus, because I had so many trials and cartouches, this was just straight up draw the best 2 cards off the top of your deck. So for those of you who don't remember, Benefaction of Ronus is a green and 2 generic mana for sorcery that reveal the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature and or an enchantment from among them into your hand, with the rest in your graveyard. So, I mean, often it was 2 guys. One happened to be a trial of the green trial, and one was just like a random creature. Sometimes it was a removal spell and a creature, because of the either cartouche, the green cartouche, or the red trial. Like, it worked amazingly well for me. Pack 3, pick 1 was a Channeler Initiate. which is the guy who comes into play with -1 counters. You can remove a counter, tap it, and add a mana of any color. Which actually came in really handy for both the white splash, and that was how I was able to use the Mind half, a Spring to Mind. It's a double blue spell. And how I was able to do that was with an Initiate Companion. I had 2 of them in the deck. They untap a permanent creature or land. So I put the ability on, I attack, do combat damage to the player, put the ability on the stack, add a blue, untap it, add a blue, pay 4 extra, and as an instant, Mind, draw 2 cards. It was pretty exciting overall. But the last card of my deck, the card that actually I felt like did a huge amount of work, and I'm really excited to play with right now, is a Red God. So pack 2, I opened up the white Cat Lord thing, and I'm like, I am a million years away from casting a spell. So I went ahead and I passed it to Joe. Because I pretty much suspected that he was in green-white, and I think he was. I think he may have been Esper. But he was definitely deep into white. So I passed it to him, and therefore, when he opened up the Red God, he went, well, there's no way that I can take this. There's a good white card in my pack. Ryan did me a solid. I'll go ahead and pass the Red God, which I immediately snapped up and used to like crush everyone's face. So it turns out that creature I spoke about earlier that became a 6x trample creature was in fact the Red God. So I was able to give it a green cartouche and double strike it into Remington, who happened to have cloned my Red God the turn before I could do that. So he was able to get down to 1 card. So he was able to block my Red God with his clone of my Red God and not die that turn. It was pretty awesome.
Solid plays.
Solid plays all the way around. I will tell you right now, though, these trials / cartouche things feel real to me. I really want to know if there's a way that you can play this like in the Pillow Fort enchantment deck in Modern. Like, I don't know if it's possible. If there's a way to like reduce the casting cost of enchantments or something, I don't know. But in my mind, I want to say if you can add an enchantment to your field that makes a creature or is a removal spell, and then also have the ability to play these cheap cartouches, if there happens to be ones that are good for you. The fight ones seem very good to me. But basically, you kind of have, like, there's a lot of these good solid enchantments right now floating around, and having something like specifically the green trial, I feel is very good. Draw a card. Say you have like the green guy, the green Orchard of Blossoms or whatever it is. Like, draw a card and make a 4/2 seems very strong to me. So I don't know. I was really impressed. I'm glad I got the opportunity to draft something a little bit different than what I usually get to draft. Being the aggro guy was kind of different. Like, there are a lot of games like the whole match took less than 5 minutes.
Yep.
Which has not been what I've been drafting so far this set. I've been drafting the super slow control decks and really enjoying those. But I sat down with a lot of people and like, oh, well, you must have been taking all these blue cards that are floating around the table. And I'm just like, attack for 22 on turn 6. And they're like, oh, I guess I'm dead.
Oh, I guess I was wrong. Neat.
Yeah, exactly. It was pretty awesome. So before we get into like some various standard comments here and topics, I want to first of all remind everybody that being the week after the Pro Tour, it should be everyone's game day on Saturday. And that means
Sunday.
And I guess theoretically Sundays. So if you get an opportunity, go rock a little bit of standard at your LGS. The cards for the promos this go around are sweet. Full art Glorybringer for the top 8, and then the mat is like Worthy Hero or something up at the top or across it. Oh, it looks sick. I'm actually more excited for this. I think might be the most sought after game day for me since I've come back to Magic. The only other one that may even come close would be the Dragons one, where they were giving out the red dragon, the red regent, Thunder something regent.
Thunderbreak
Regent. But I'm really excited for the possibility of picking up hopefully a couple, because Remington will go as well. So if Remington decides to do well in top 8, then and he has pretty reasonably top 8'd these things. So I'm pretty excited for the possibility of picking up a couple of these. Hopefully I'll do well too. But,
so
looks good.
I am playing on game day on Sunday.
All right. Well, I know you've got 2 decks here that you've been thinking about. You've been working really long and hard on this Metalwork Colossus deck. What is that? One of the 2 decks that you have marked down here?
Oh yeah, it's the deck that I'm playing.
Okay, so you've narrowed it down. You've solidified to the Marvel deck.
Yeah. The other deck is just one that I'm working on because I love aggro decks.
Okay.
But no, the Colossus deck, I am going to be playing it. So far, I am against the mono black zombies. I am 2-0 like matches. So I think like 4-1 against the mono black deck. The black white deck, I am 4-2. Like I haven't lost a single match against either zombie deck. And then the Teamer Aetherworks one, I am actually dropping my phone.
And you're grainy.
Yeah, I should be back now. But no, the Teamer Aetherworks one, I actually was playtesting against one of my buddies who just built it, and I went 3-0 against that also. I haven't played anyone that has Mardu vehicles yet, so I don't know how I'm gonna fare against that, but I have enough cards to stop it that I think I should be good against vehicles, especially since the majority of their removal spell doesn't hit my 6 creatures.
Right. I don't know. What do you feel like you're having any weaknesses in the deck? Like, or is it just the best deck and nobody knows any better?
So far, I don't think the only weakness is not drawing the Metalwork Colossus.
Okay.
But I have the 4 prisms. I did drop it down to 2 metal spinners puzzle knot and 1 key to the city. So I still have those 7 draw spells. I got the 4 Hedron Archives, which is also draw. And then I have Tezzeret Master of Metal, which, holy crap, this card's awesome in this deck.
Okay.
I have 2 Sweltering Suns in there for more draw and board wipe.
Yeah.
And then
I do really like Sweltering Suns right now.
And then I have 2 Combustible Gearhulks now.
Okay. That all seems reasonable to me. I don't know. Again, I'd have to see it you played and whatnot to make any comments, but it seems reasonable.
Yeah, and I've tried, even with the mana, I've tried putting colored specific lands in there. It doesn't matter. Like, I always have the double mana. I always have like the specific colors that I need when I need it. And I don't know. I think even if I don't do anything good with it outside of, local games, I still think this is probably the most solid deck that I've built since Lorwyn.
Well, that's high praise, I suppose. I mean, just to ballpark me, what's your turn finish approximately, assuming everything kind of goes reasonable?
Average is 5.
The turn 5 win, that's not bad.
Yeah. Uh, there was one game that I played the other day where I had 3 Metalwork Colossus on turn 4. So that's just kind of like, can you kill him?
I'll say when Remington was playing the Metalwork Colossus deck, he often would get to a point where, I don't want to say often like every game, but there would be times where he would just be like, vomit all these Metalwork Colossuses out, but then not be able to finish.
Right.
With something like a Fling, I think would have given him the reach that he needed.
Well, see, and that's why I put Key to the City in there.
Right. Well, and we added 1 Key to the City in Remington's deck. We also added like 1 Baral's Expertise. He also had, I think, some number of the tap 4 things in there. The Elder Deep Fiend. Like he was running these things because he needed a way to push through the final attack. So I think there's a lot of options, but I don't know. I love the idea of a Fling or the ability to give trample or something, especially if you can get their shields down, like on turn 3 or turn 4 or something. On your turn 4, you like play to give haste land. You play your Metalwork Colossus, and you just like 10 you, and then all of a sudden they have to be like, oh, the rest of the game.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think it's fun, but I think it has the same problems to a lot of stuff that I've kind of been running back to lately, that it just loses to like random control decks or random the combo deck. Friend of the show, Jackie, and I were playtesting a little bit last night, and she had put together a version of the New Perspectives deck, which I don't particularly care for her copy, her build of it, but like there's a lot of times where I just kill you next turn, and she would be like, eat a dick because I'm comboing off this turn and killing you.
Right.
It's like, oh, that seems fun. And there's a lot of times.
Side note.
Yeah.
Proud of you for using the correct pronoun.
Look, it's easy. It's easy to do that kind of stuff when you're talking about someone remotely,
and they're not there.
Right. Well.
Well, no, but I'm saying like when they're in front of you, your mental image of who they are or how you've known them for the past X years,
right,
is still there.
Right. So I didn't want to get into it, but Jackie is transitioning, so that's why Travis is kind of bringing this up. Again, when you're talking about someone remotely, it's much easier than when you're there interacting with them, talking to them, and it's like, yeah, you in my mind have not changed at all, and this hasn't, anyway. I do what I can. I'm a terrible, hate-filled, fat old man set in my ways, so I'll do what I can, which is slow and painful for everyone involved.
Yep.
Anyway, what's this other standard deck real quick?
Mono black aggro.
Okay, so like zombie-ish, or is it different?
Nah, there's only like 4 zombies in here.
Okay.
So, I have the Night Market Lookout.
Okay.
That's when it
Random
becomes
2-1.
tapped. Yeah. Well, when it
That's fine.
becomes tapped, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life.
Sure. 2-1.
Yeah. Uh, the playset of Dread Wanderers, obviously.
Right. 2-1.
The playset of Fatal Push,
Okay.
2 Deadweights, 4
Okay.
Glint Sleeve Siphoners,
I like that guy a lot.
4 Scrap Heap Scrounger.
All right. Necessary Evil.
Yep. 2 Gifted Etherborns.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, yeah, I had nothing else to fill that, so I was like, I don't know, maybe. The 4 Grasp of Darkness.
Okay.
Again, since I had nothing else to fill it, 2 Yahini Undying Partisan.
Okay. I actually really like that right now.
And then, what's better than 4 Delver of Secrets?
Okay.
Having 8 of them with the Air Falconwrath. So the Air Falconwrath and the Bone Pickers makes 8 Delver.
Even if you say so.
They both can come out turn 2.
Sure. Sure. So not very long ago, I feel like it was a couple of podcasts ago, the guys over at Top Level Podcast had a black aggro deck that they were talking about that did well at some non-PT podcast or tournament.
Okay.
And I want to say it had 16 lands in it or something, and it was just like having 2 mana even was really crazy.
It was too much for them.
Yeah. And the if I remember right, the individual did really well. I'm skimming through the Top Level Podcast right now trying to find it. I don't see it. And it could have just been a tournament blip, right? But I feel like it had 8 or 9 1-drops or something, like a really high number of 1-drops, even more than what you had with your 8. And then there's a few 2s, a lot of the 2s that you mentioned, but like the Aetherborn Rogue or whatever, the black lifelink Death Touch guy, had to go to the sideboard. Like it was not good enough to main deck. It was a sideboard card, and I was like, wow, okay. And again, they kind of tore into it and they discussed it really in depth. If I can remember which one it is, or if I can find the link, I will post it in the show notes. But of course, I make L0 promises because, finding that kind of stuff is not always easy. But I think there's probably room for a solid aggro deck right now and getting underneath all these mid-range decks, because there's just the world is just filled with mid-range right now. However, the more people are going aggro, like the white-red humans, I think is going to be very popular at my local game day, which means I want to play a deck that has X number of sweltering sands or whatever it is, scorching sands, whatever that is. Because I just, from the people that I know that will most likely be there, they like playing those kind of aggro decks. So I want to play a deck that has that in it. I also believe there'll be at least a couple of people there that I'll be playing more of these mid-rangey type decks where Sweltering Suns is still a fine card against them. Because they're playing things like the 3/2 that draws you a card, nets you 2 energy, and Marvel decks. There you go. That's what I'm thinking of. Like Whirling Virtuosos and stuff like that. So Sweltering Suns will still be a good card against them. Not necessarily the best card if they can get an Ulamog down, but a good card. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to this game day. I wish my playtesting last night would have given me slightly better results. I'm trying like this Sahili, like good stuff kind of thing,
Okay.
where I'm using a lot of the same cards that the old Sahili deck was using, but replacing. So in my version of the previous Sahili deck, you had 7 slots, right? So now that you have 4 additional slots, that gives you 11 slots to kind of play with. You can't just combo off out of nowhere, but it does let you use Sahili more as just a straight up value engine. So I put in like Glory Bringers and the 4/4 green Colossus thing, Torrential Gear or Green Gear Hulk, whatever that thing's called. With the plan to like just aggressively use the Sahili's copy abilities to basically get value right away, and then just like, well, you want to spend a turn killing Sahili? Go ahead. I'm fine with it. I got what I needed out of it. And any time you copy a Glory Bringer and exert the token to kill a thing and attack for 8, it's awesome. It feels so good. The problem is all the rest of the time because the mana is terrible. I can't explain it. And it's possible that the version of the mana that I was playing was just bad last night. I might take another crack at it today. Right now, I'm leaning towards just scrapping it all together and playing something completely different. I do want to play red. I kind of want to play Goblin Dark Dwellers. Like, I feel like maybe I just want to be the red mid-range control deck. Because our girl's back, and she's back in a big bad way. Chandra, 6-mana Chandra.
Yep.
So before we tear back into my take on Standard, did you get to watch any of the Pro Tour coverage? Because that's Chandra Flamecaller just tearing up the Pro Tour essentially.
I watched some of it, but it's just kind of boring to me.
So this is my problem when it comes to the Pro Tour. I love day 1 and day 2 more than I love the top 8.
Right.
And I don't think that's what most people are. I think most people would rather watch the top 8, where I just want to watch the most variety of games I possibly can.
Right.
So like Friday and Saturday, I stayed up to like 4 a.m. into Sunday morning watching Pro Tour coverage because I was not available to just sit and watch live. Where Sunday, like I kind of knew what was going on and I saw the tweets, but I had zero care about the top 8 results. And to me, that seems kind of weird and awkward. But anyway, we do have some interesting information, and I'm sure every other podcast will get into the nitty-gritty. But if I remember correctly, there were 4 Aetherworth Marvel-esque decks, or at least 3 Teamer decks that were like Marvel. Then we had, if I remember correctly, 3 zombie-esque decks. One was Mono Black, which I think was Gary Thompson's, who I think eventually won. And then we had 2 black-white zombies, I believe. And then a green-black energy, which looks really cool. And I think if I had all these cards, I think is where I'd want to necessarily be tomorrow, I think, or this weekend. It seems really solid to me. Walking Ballistas, Rampagers, Glint Sleeve Siphoners, Long Tusk Hugs, Whiny Constrictor, etc., etc. It looks good from here. My problem is I don't have 4 Heart of Kirans, whatever, to like play with. And I think there's not probably suitable replacements for that card. I feel like that card is just busted all over the place. So finding a place to cram that in replacement would be real hard. Otherwise, the most exciting thing about the Pro Tour, I think, and a lot of people will probably tell you this, is that Mardu Vehicles, I think, was 29 or some percent of the metagame day 1 and 0% of the top 8.
Right.
And I'm not sure how much of that was how modern Mardu Vehicles did in constructed games, how well the players did in constructed. I don't know how much of that relates to people expected it to be the default deck, so therefore you need to be able to beat it, at least out of the sideboard. I have a feeling there's a lot of that going on, but I part of me is glad that it's gone, and part of me wanted it to be a monster that just like rickrolled everybody else. Because I feel like the Mardu Vehicles deck was the deck that kept Saheeli in check, and I was hoping that without Saheeli there, that Mardu Vehicles would just destroy everybody. I'd be like, see, maybe you need to have the monster in the format.
Right.
But it turns out the monster in the format is just Ulamog.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
It's almost like a 10/10 indestructible that even if it doesn't hit, for 4 mana, that even if it doesn't hit your opponents, it still mills them for 20, and it still exiles 2 things when it comes into play. Like, surprisingly, that's a good thing to have.
Right. For 4 mana.
Who would have guessed? Yeah.
So I think next week I want to get a little bit deeper into the Reed Duke-esque was it Bug, right? Bug Marvel. It didn't run red, it ran black.
Okay.
It looked really cool. I was really excited. I would play that deck also if I had the new Liliana, 5-mana Liliana. The ability to just either marvel out a Ulamog is awesome. The ability to like flip one in your graveyard and then just make it a zombie for minusing Liliana for 3 is also awesome. So I'm really taken back by that one, and maybe next week we'll get into it. But again, I think a lot of these other podcasts are gonna run on this kind of stuff, so I don't want to hang up here too long. I don't know, Travis. What other than putting together your deck, what advice do you have for me for game day? Do you have anything? Like, I'm feeling since they banned the cat, I felt really lost in this standard. And after playtesting yesterday in particular, I feel even more so lost. Because like a deck that I figured, it's hard to be. It's surprising to me that taking that particular combo out really messes me up. Like my mana's not good anymore. I don't understand what to go get and win. It just, I'm not sure. Like, do I keep playing some crazy combo deck? Do I try to just go Raggro? Do I just go all full-on control mode? I don't understand what to do.
Why not just, like, some sort... Do Minotaurs.
That seems real bad to me, but I could see why you suggest it.
Well, it's mid-range that can be early-game aggro.
I feel like we need like 3 more good Minotaurs. Like if there were 6 good Minotaurs, it would be a thing. But as there's only 2, I feel like there's just not enough quality Minotaurs. Like if I was going to play a stream like deck like that, I think I'd just be better off playing some sort of humans.
I don't know. Well, okay, so you obviously have Neheb.
Right. Which is one good Minotaur.
Right. You have the 2-drop 4/3.
Yes. I thought that was an ogre though, but maybe it's a Minotaur. But those are your 2 good ones.
Then you have the 3-drop 2/3 that when it enters, you deal damage to a creature equal to the number of sorceries in your graveyard.
I mean, I think it's instants and sorceries, but that guy is so like he's good in draft, but I don't think he's good in constructed. I don't think he's good enough.
Have you tried it?
I have not tried it, but like,
then how do you know?
Well, I've played other cards like it in the past. So like Mogus, there's a Spite of Mogus card, which is basically the exact same effect, except it was 1 mana, and I believe it was also a sorcery. I feel like it was a sorcery. And that card wasn't even good enough. So taking it from 1 mana to 3 mana and adding a 2/3 body to it just doesn't seem good enough to me. If it was like a 4/1, oh yeah, this would be great. Oh, I get to see your tonsils.
Oh well. Other than that, I don't know. Like, I want there to be some sort of token deck too, with Anointed Procession and.
So Cub's going to take care of that for us. We don't have to worry about it. It'll be really terrible.
Good. Well, yeah, it's Cub.
Well, maybe one of these decks will be, with a little bit of refinement, will be the thing. So Nathan sent us 3 decks here, and we're just going to kind of like power through them here in the last 10 minutes of the show. Let me
show it up.
Let me see if I can't get the screen to share the way I want to share it. Perfect. Looks good. Okay, so we have Red Black Yahini, Gifted Aetherborn, Scrappy Scrounger, Eternal Scourge, Eternal Scourge, Yahini, Red God, Glorybringer, Fatal Push, Magma Spray, Fire Temper, Sweltering Suns, Insult to Injury, Never to Return, Land Base. This thing looks solid to me. My problems with this deck is Never to Return. Feels like it's going double black early and double red early seems wrong to me. Right? I think you have to either go early red and then let the black come in later if you need it, or go early double black and ease up on the double red. So having the Sweltering Sun sure isn't particularly double reddish early necessarily, but when you want it, you need it early, right? Fiery Temper, if you have to hard cast it, you need the double red. So I feel like this is a red deck splashing black for Yahini and Scrap Heap activations. So my mind wants to move Gifted Aetherborn to the sideboard and take Never to Return out for some other kind of like red removal spell. What do you think, Travis?
I just don't think I like the gifted at all.
I mean, it's a good card. I really do enjoy the card, but I think that it's too hard to cast in a deck like this. I also feel like some number of the Black God would be correct. Like maybe 1 or 2 would be okay. Because what happens when you get you have 2 Yahinis in your hand. Like maybe it's a good possibility to sack 1 and start with a fresh one, or it gives you an outlet. The same thing would be said if you were to have Tormenting Voice, right? Like I could see cutting a Never to Return. Wow, that's a noise.
Yeah, sorry about that. Plugged in my phone.
Yeah, like cut a Never Return, cut a land, cut a Gifted Aetherborn for 3 Tormenting Voices, and then 3 other creatures that you can use. I'm not sure what off the top of my head. I would probably look at like the Guilt Sleeve Siphoner again. So I feel like this is a thing, even though you're trying to run yourself out of cards, I feel like you want cards.
Right, because being top deck mode only is
always?
Yeah. Doing it always is bad. Doing it when you're winning is great.
Doing it when you want to?
Yeah.
Also, this is one of those decks that I would like to add in a Assault to Victory. Like there's no good trample in here, and there's no good situation to set up the white play. But I feel like there's an opportunity that you can add that in there, like because you have Evolving Wilds, you could add a Plains to make it go, or if you do the Guilt Sleep Siphoner, you could take the 4 Evolving Wilds out for Aether Hubs very easily, and then you could take and make some small changes to your spell base, I think, and be able to support a little bit of energy as a sub theme just to be able to cast the second half. I love the single assault injury though. I feel like anytime that you pull that off, you're gonna just win that game. Like there's no way to lose. So I'm pretty excited. Again, I think I would try to figure out something other than this double black card on 2. Like there's so many good artifacts that you could play in there, or just red guys that you could probably play in there. That 2/1 that gives trample if you exert it into a 3/3.
That'd be better.
It's always a 2/1.
Right, but it turns into a 3/3.
Right, to be able to exert it into a 3/3 seems great, and it has trample.
Right.
So then we have a black-white aristocrats deck. So Wanderers, Cutthroats, a Bantu, a Weapon of Craft Enthusiast, Yahini, Bone Picker, Grasp of Darkness, Servo Expedition, Shram's Expertise, Start to Finish, Hidden Stockpile, and Lands. So I really like what this deck wants to do.
Okay.
I feel like this deck is missing it.
Missing what?
Well, first of all, I don't think this deck really wants to be white at the end of the day. I think this deck wants to be black-green at the end of the day. I feel like you want the ability to cast Cryptolith Rites to power things out. And I feel like you want the ability to use the 2/2 for 2 that lets you spend 3 mana to like impulse the top of your deck for a creature, or it turns over to a 3/3 and makes all your dudes 1 mana less. Like Night Watch something or something maybe.
Okay.
I feel like you want that ability. So I don't know if I even like the Servo Expedition and the Shram's Expertise. I do like the Start to Finish though, so it's kind of like up in the air. Start to Finish I think is a very good card right now. Surprise! Here's 2 dudes. Surprise! I kill your thing. Now the sideboard, however, does make me think maybe Nathan's on the right track with the white card splash, right? Fragmentize, Declaration in Stone, Visor of Remedies, Anguish Unmaking, Depossess, and Dust to Dawn. Like a lot of these cards feel correctly in the current metagame. Particularly Anguish Unmaking and Declaration in Stone for the Ulamog decks.
Right.
So I could be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time, but I want to play Cryptolith Rites in this deck.
So why not Anointed Procession? If you create a token, double it.
Same reason. I don't know if I need to take turn 4 off in the land of Ulamog comes down on turn 4. I think that in these kind of situations, I want the ability to continue to be the aggressor and do something like a Declaration in Stone or an Anguish Unmaking to remove Ulamog as a blocker and win the game.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think Hidden Stockpile is too cute. I do like Zulaport Cutthroat. I think that you want to run Cryptolith Rites. I feel like you want to run maybe the what is the guy who makes like he's a 2/3 for a green and a black and a colorless, and he makes a servo, but when its thing dies, you get a scry.
Oh, he makes a Scion?
Yeah, he makes a Scion.
Broodmother?
I don't think that's
Brood
right.
Monitor.
I don't think that's right either. The one that lets you scry whenever something dies. I think that you want
Right,
that in
and
this kind of deck.
you pay like a black and a green and sack a creature to kill something.
That's a
Or to
different
give it
creature.
neg two.
That's a different
Huh?
creature. Those are
Oh,
two
well
different
then I don't
creatures.
know.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think that Aristocrats is probably strong now, but I think it's base green, black, and not black white. It could splash white, but I don't think it's base black white. Red green monsters. This is what I was trying to play essentially, except I wanted to add uh, blue mana for Saheeli. So let's take a look at this. Chanter initiates, Naga, Vitalis, Kindra's Charioteer. That's to give everything trample. Manglehorn, Prowling Serpent. Is that, I don't know what
Prowling
that is.
Serpaperd.
Is that like the 4/3 with all your shit can't be countered? Is that what that is?
Yes, it's a cute little kitty lizard.
Okay, that's the hairy snake. Green God, Fling Kitty, Glorybringers, Arlen Cord, Magma Sprays, Prey Upon, Harness Lightning, Heaven Earth, Insult to Injury, Lands. I think this is probably better than what I was trying to play.
But no fling.
Well, I don't like Naga Vitalist to start with here. If I'm going to play that, I'm going to play the Haste Ally guy instead that tests for any color mana, but for creatures because he has haste.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I think a lot of these creatures are bad. Joe had something like this yesterday that he was playtesting and came to the same conclusions that a lot of these cards are bad. Not a Vitalist is bad. The Charioteer is bad. I don't know if I love this Chandler Initiate. Kind of feels bad. Where something more along the lines of go get a basic land and get 2 energy seems stronger. I can't think what it's called right now because I'm an idiot.
Attune with Ether?
Yes, Attune with Ether seems good. It seems weird. I think Arlen Cord's really good right now. I kind of wish I had some, and I would potentially try building more. Like I had one in my deck, and she seemed really solid every time I played her. So, I don't know. She seems really well positioned right now to me. But that's those are all Nathan's decks. So, as always, if you have a deck for us, to trollsbrew@gmail.com. And you can send us a tweet, twitter.com/SamusGarobo or TurtlePower319. You can check out this episode and past episodes at SamusGarobo.com, which of course is also where we keep various links to get a hold of us. And I don't know, please check out the Twitch, twitch.tv/SamusGarobo, youtube.com/SamusGarobo, where you can watch this. I just got to put Travis on the screen. Oh, as soon as I click over there, he stops doing it. Rah, Pukeville.
I'll leave it up.
Leave it up. All right, go ahead.
No, just keep on your rant.
Oh, I'm done. That's it. That's the whole rant. I can't.
Sweet.
I can't even think anymore.
So you want me to stop doing this then?
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Because I think it looks funny.
I bet it does to you on a phone.
Yeah, I'm looking at my little screen right here. It's pretty awesome.
I bet on your phone it probably does look pretty awesome. On a slightly larger window, it's like Pukeville minus me. Again, you can check this out if you'd like to see Travis try to make everyone vomit. YouTube.com/SamusGarobo. Travis, I opened this video with a love song.
Right.
What do you got, buddy? You got a love song for us?
Yeah, it's by one of my more favorite bands. It's called Orgasms Equal Love.
Okay. That's the name of the song, or that's the name of the band?
That's the name of the song.
Okay.
I can't recite any of the lyrics because it's pretty. Well, here, you're not gonna see me on screen right now, but here we go. If you really want to.
I do, but take any dirty words and replace them with clean words.
Okay.
Come on, you can do it.
Yeah. I'm just going to the lyrics page.
Okay.
Hooey, this is gonna be fun.
All right, let's see it.
All right. Okay. Starts off. I can feel you in my heart, even though we drift apart. With those words you spoke to me, though I always disagree. And I listen to the sound of your sweet voice because you won't shut up. Now I'm finished. Let me call you a taxi.
Nice. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Would
you like him to keep going on?
No, I think this is going to get dirtier than I'm.
Oh yeah, it gets pretty good.
So
it involves donkey punching and then licking buttholes, DP. You know, all the
wow.
Yeah, all the normal stuff.
This is definitely the sweetest love song ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I told you that equals love.
That's right, equals love. All right, everybody. Well, as always, if you equal love, come back next week. Travis?
Troll on.
Troll on, everybody.